got much. No, you don't. Oh my god, that very well. That thumbnail was not very flattering. Was that me?
Where?
What post?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Param Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Total world victory of Hare Krishna. Share now. My name is Sitapati Das.
My name is Donna Debbie.
I'm Isabella.
I am Prahlad.
And today is Prahlad's 21st birthday.
Woohoo!
Indeed.
Happy birthday. And it's Bhagavad-gita 247. Share to feed. So let me share this to my feed.
I was a cute kid.
And then we'll put it here. Prahlad's 21st birthday. And we got a present, 21st birthday. You want to grab, yeah, can you bring this over, Isha? 21st birthday Bhagavad-gita podcast.
It's a bomb. Bye.
Share. Okay, and then let's go back here. Okay.
You got
Sorry?
a special bomb for Prahlad.
Yeah, do you want to hand me that knife there, Prahlad? I'll open it up. Here it is. Okay, I gotta be careful.
I know what it is.
I'm telling you.
You want a real knife?
No, because the thing is, I don't want to cut what's in it.
Knife.
It's actually, because I always used to think that that was what it is, but it's actually, that's not a knife. That's a knife. The famous scene from Crocodile Dundee where he's in New York and a pickpocket or a mugger rolls up with a switchblade.
No.
We need a kitchen knife here.
What?
Huh?
That's not what's wrong.
Yeah, it is.
What is it?
What do you think?
It's like there's these military guys in the jungle and they're like betting stuff. It's got like Idris Elba. And the guy's like, yeah, I'll bet my knife's like a small knife. And the guy then pulls out a bigger knife and they continue.
Yeah, but that's a shout. That's a shout out to the Crocodile Dundee movie from the 80s, man. Idris Elba wasn't even a thing back then. Yeah, that's where it comes from. Croc Dundee. Your computer's not doing anything on the internet right now, is it? No? I mean, you're not like downloading something or anything like that?
No.
No, okay, don't worry about it, man.
No. What?
No, it's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like that one.
No, keep it open because of the light.
Yeah,
Bro, the light gives me some unscrupulous glow.
Unscrupulous glow.
Oh,
No, that's
no,
fine.
no, it's fine. It looks
Fine.
natural.
Yeah.
It's like a paper still.
Exactly.
How can you not tell me this is not some sort of
They have lollies. Vegan lollies.
No, it's UHT coconut cream.
brand deal, guys, sponsors, everybody.
This better be a kilo of cocaine with this package.
Dude. This is from Blue River in Northland.
Woohoo! So, cocaine.
Hey.
Okay.
It's coconut. It says coconut cream.
Coconut
Like
as well.
Coconut.
You like coconut, don't you, Prahlad?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see? We are very thoughtful.
Coconut. Seriously.
I used to buy this
Yeah.
fresh coconut milk in the store.
Oh, in India, you just go in the street and you get a huge coconut. Oh,
Yeah, but you ain't gonna find fresh coconut milk very easily.
yeah. I bet.
Well, at least none that one could be food.
I mean, you know, we've been, and they used to bust open the coconuts in Bali.
Cocaine.
Okay, here you go.
Boxes.
It's a block of meth.
Bro, I'm telling you, this guy.
Dude, I had to drive 100 kilometers to pick this up. I mean, he sent it all the way from up north, but then the courier company messed it up. And then
Fuck you well. I bet you did that, Vanessa.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Haribo.
secure, very safe.
It's like a game of pass the parcel.
We should start our music song.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god. Drum roll, please. No, okay, fine. I see. Guys.
Okay, here it is. You ready? You ready?
Ready? Ready?
Two.
Close your eyes.
One.
Close your eyes.
Oh,
Close your eyes.
it's good, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
It's our bag of men. It's our bag of pound.
What's that? I was just going to type
Three,
that.
Two.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It is the definitive English language edition of Bhagavad-gita.
You see one this week?
Yeah, man.
And we got ours.
In color.
We got one for the house. And
Yes.
one for Prahlad's 21st birthday.
I can see why it's packaged well.
It's the 72 Mac
Protected.
edition of the Bhagavad-gita.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, I appreciate for him doing all of these books, you know, from 72.
I was just going to type that aloud, Jay.
There it is.
Amazing.
My
Stunning.
Imagine this. This is the book that conquered the world, the West. You know, imagine distributing these hardbound books. You know, we were hearing from Div Younger about the distribution at the Chicago airport. This is the book they were distributing to people.
Yeah.
These are the original color plates, the paintings. Have all been replaced with new, you know, better ones. You know, that even though they tried to replace them with and see how it's got multiple sections of plates in it. I mean, yeah, you know, the later BBT artist paintings are technically, you know, better, but Prabhupada was against that. There was a part, I don't know who was telling that pastime of when they went to Prabhupada and proposed replacing the paintings, and he got angry. He got very angry.
Yeah.
Back.
Fair enough.
Okay, here you go, 1H. So today we're doing Bhagavad-gita, Song of God, as it is by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shout outs and thank you to Buddhi Manta Prabhu and Vanessa for sending these down to us. 247? Yeah, 247. There you go, Isha. You can read the Sanskrit. It's Bhagavad-gita 247.
Bye. Wee. Let's fly. Karmaṇi evādhikāras te phaleṣu kadācana ma karma-phala-hetur bhūr ma te saṅgo akarmaṇi. I can barely
Mate saṅgos. This one is Mate saṅgos karmaṇi. So they run together. So you,
Ma te saṅgo karmaṇi.
that's it.
Okay, here's the book back. Okay.
Pass the parcel.
Pass the parcel. Translation. Word for word. Prahlad.
I will do the in Sanskrit. I will do the Sanskrit.
Okay.
Prahlad, you do the English. 47, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Karmaṇi.
Prescribed duties.
Eva.
Certainly.
Adhikāraḥ.
Right.
Te.
Of you.
Ma.
Never.
phaleṣu.
In the fruits.
Kadācana.
At any time.
Ma.
Never.
Karma-phala.
In the results of work.
Hetuḥ.
Cause.
Bhūr.
Become.
Ma.
Of you.
I don't know. Ma. Never.
Never.
Te.
Of you.
Saṅgaḥ.
Attachment.
Astu.
Be there.
Akarmaṇi.
In not doing.
Awesome. Amor.
Translation. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your duty, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
That's suspicious.
What?
Yes, sneezed.
Oh.
Okay. So how about we do
There are three things here, so three paragraphs.
okay, let's do can we do it?
Yeah.
I will do first one.
Mhm.
Okay. There are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Ooh, this is the part I was like, Prescribed duties refer to activities performed while one is performed while one is in the modes of material nature. Capricious work means action without the sanction of authority. And inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive, not to be inactive, but that he performed his prescribed duties without being attached to the results. One who is attached to the results of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the results of such actions. Amor es tuyo.
As far as prescribed duties are concerned, they can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. Routine work, in terms of the scriptural injunctions, is done without desireful results. As one has to do it, obligatory work is action in the mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage, therefore, such work is not auspicious. Hang on. Okay, this is a book change. Oh, no, it's there. Yeah. Everyone has his proprietary right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested, obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Up to you.
Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty, without attachment to results. His non-participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path of salvation for Arjuna.
Inaction is sinful. What was that about the inaction here?
You have a right to perform your prescribed duties. You're not entitled to the results. Stop the camera because the internet connection's a little bit weak here, but that's okay. You can still hear. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you're not entitled to the results. Not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities. Never be attached to not doing your duty.
Can I see your book real quick?
Yeah. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, mine broke.
What? It broke? Just now?
It broke as soon as I opened it. The spine disconnected.
No, it's not connected.
Oh,
No, it's not connected.
is it?
No.
That's not how books work.
No, this one's it's sewn along the back, and then this is glued on to this piece here.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Yeah.
My bad.
But probably about to touch those books.
No, these are reprints. Oh, actually, this is something that Garuda Prabhu pointed out. That text that they've used here, this font. See that font there? I don't think that they use that font in the original. I have to check, but that's a sans serif font. You know, like as I was reading the book, I was like, oh, it's different from what's online. Why? Because online, if you have a look at the paragraphs, there's a blank line between each paragraph, right? Whereas in the books, there's no blank line between the paragraphs.
There's a little indent.
Yeah, there's an indent, which is how it used to be done in books, right? And then the other thing is that books.
This isn't sans serif.
No, that's in serif. You know what a serif font is? Serif fonts. So you see how they got at the bottom see at the bottom of the font how it's got a line. You know,
Does
like
it?
see that T there? It has a line at the bottom, and it has those two lines there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
H has a little line at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, those are called serifs,
Okay.
right? And then these are that's a sans serif font there. See, they're all just super plain.
Mm-hmm.
This font is best for reading on screens. And when I was in the BBT, we would use serif fonts for text, and sans serif was used for headings.
Hmm.
You know, like you could do sans serif translation, purport, but those are serif fonts.
Hmm.
But back in the day, everything was done with serif fonts. But if you have a look at the internal cover of this book, it's done in a sans serif font. Some books are printed completely in sans serif fonts. I wonder if, anyway, it's a small detail, but
I've been reading it on my Kindle, so
you can change the font on the Kindle between serif and sans serif. Did you know that?
nah.
Yeah, you can change it. It has a collection of fonts. You can choose which one you want to use. To the verse and purport. Comments,
Very nice.
commentary.
Feeling the paper.
Mhm.
Paper is also a different printing paper than the other ones.
The thin ones.
The small ones, you mean?
Yeah.
They use like a rice paper.
Oh, rice paper. Very fine. One thing I was reading here.
Put my arms across like this because otherwise I've got no space.
Do you want to go through the differences?
Yeah, the Lord advised that Arjuna not
Let's
to
have a
be
look at this
inactive, but one who is attached to the results of his work is also the cause of the action. It's like while he's not doing that, he also is creating an action.
Not while he's not doing it, it's when he's attached to the result.
Okay, one who is attached to the results of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer of or sufferer of the results of such actions.
Mhm.
Hidden attributions, blah blah blah, and
Mhm.
what?
Yeah, it's just that if you're not the doer of the activity, you don't identify yourself with the yantra, the machine. So the actions of the body and the reactions that come to the body are neither of them you identify with. It's not that you don't identify yourself as the doer of the activity, so therefore that no reactions come. Reactions to activities come, but they don't have nothing to do with you any more than the action does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when you have like identify yourself as the doer, you start to calculate things based on the consequences because you're like, well, I want this consequence and I don't want that consequence because you think you are the enjoyer of the result. So you start calculating what the likely consequences are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you choose, supposedly, you think you're choosing what to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why consequentialism, arguing from consequences, is a philosophical deviation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we went and chanted at Profest because at the New Zealand Parliament occupation because it was the thing that had to be done. I'm going to stop the camera for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We went and chanted at the Parliament occupation because it was the thing that had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Distributed books, distributed prasadam there.
Mm-hmm.
And then other people were kind of trying to calculate the consequences, like what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So they're attached to the results of the activity. And then they became attached to not doing their duty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, you know, there's a right time and a right place. We shouldn't do it, you know? And the other thing is leaders speaking and thinking that way caused devotees to become philosophically deviant on the matter and to commit namaparad.
What's your intake, Prahlad? What did you?
What's your take on it?
Yeah.
I don't know. That usually comes after the changes.
Okay, well, let's look at the changes then. Okay, the diffs. So it says, never consider yourself, you can check this. Does it say, never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities? Yeah?
What part are you reading? The first
The part where it says never consider yourself to be the cause of your activities. Yeah. It says never consider yourself to be the cause of your activities. That's been changed to never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities.
Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities. It's quite similar, isn't it?
No, it's not. And actually the revised and enlarged edition, second edition, makes it ambiguous.
Okay.
The original manuscript says, neither consider thyself the cause of the result of activities. So the 2b has actually been inserted by Hayagriva. No notes on the translation, unfortunately.
What's the enlarged version again?
Never consider yourself the results. I mean, Hayagriva's editorial edition of 2b is perfect because it becomes ambiguous. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Yeah, without commas there, but it's like never consider yourself. It's like saying you never consider for yourself the cause of the results of your activities. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Yeah, it doesn't change it a lot. It just changes the directness of the line.
No, it does change it because it's saying, imagine it like this: never consider the cause of the results of your activities.
You added a space.
Huh?
You added a space.
No, I took out yourself. Never consider the cause of the results of your activities.
Yeah, so that's different from never consider yourself the cause.
It's not, because in this sense, when you say never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, the yourself there, it's called reflexive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what it means is never consider this. So when you say never consider dana to be the cause of the results of your activities, it's not reflexive because it's a third person.
Mm.
When it's the second person, it's reflexive because the action is being performed to yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here it's saying never consider that you are the cause of the results of your activities.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take out the 2b, the reflexiveness could be not only referring to the cause of the results, it could be referring to the action consider, the imperative never consider.
Mm.
Never consider for yourself. It's like think for yourself, right?
Mm.
When people say think for yourself, it's reflexive and it means you think for yourself. This is like never consider for yourself the cause of the results of your activities. In other words, never think about, for yourself, who the cause of your results of your activities is, or what is the cause of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the 2b makes
got it.
the reflexive yourself definitely linked to yourself to be the cause rather than don't think for yourself.
Mm.
And it's become ambiguous in the second one. It's it's like, are people going to make that mistake? Probably not. They're probably not going to make that mistake. But there was no need to change it.
The other thing that, like, when you are saying that is like never consider yourself, is whether yourself the cause of the results of your activities. It's like that will give you the freedom to do whatever you want, and then just don't consider it. That is the reactions to, or the actions of it, or the results of it. You can just dismiss it. I'm not the cause of this, of the results of my actions.
Yeah. Okay.
Of
So
my activities.
Yeah. So this
You know
takes
what I
us
mean?
to this story that illustrates that.
Yeah, and then basically with this, you will be giving the permission, to yourself to do anything that is not appropriate.
Yeah. So
Good point.
I can give you a story about that. So one day, this man comes to the king, and he says, "My cow wandered into the garden, a man's garden, and this man killed the cow, killed my cow, beat it to death."
Yeah.
So the king pulls the man in there, and it turns out that he's a guy who has this beautiful flower garden, and the cow got in there and started eating the flour. So he went and beat the cow, and he beat it, and it died. So the king says to him, you've beaten this cow and killed it, and killing a cow is a great crime. And then the man says, no, I'm not the doer of the activities that are carried out by the three modes of material nature.
The blame. Again.
Prakriti kriyamanane gunai karmaṇi sarvashaha ahankara vimurhatma kartahamiti manyate. So the king's kind of like a little bit confounded because he's like, he's actually right. It's actually true. And so he said he doesn't know what to do. So he goes to his Brahmana advisor, and the Brahmana says, okay, look, I'll take care of this. So what the Brahmana does is he has the king hide in the garden. So the king's hiding in the garden. And then the Brahmana goes in and starts wandering around the garden, and he starts making a whole lot of noise. And then the man comes out because he's worried that, oh, maybe there's another cow, eating my flowers or something. He comes out and he sees the Brahmana there, and he says, what are you doing here? And the Brahmana said, oh, I'm sorry. I was just walking past and I saw this amazing garden. It's so well kept and it looks so beautiful. Who did this? And then the man says, oh, well, this is my garden. I did this. And then the king immediately jumps out and grabs him.
Caught in 4K.
Caught in 4K, yeah. Idiot CCTV. So in that case, although he pretends that he doesn't consider himself the doer of his activities, he actually does. And he enjoys the results. And so now he must suffer the consequences.
Right. Yeah.
So notice that there's all three things, right? You have a right to perform your prescribed duty. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results, and never be attached to not doing your duty. That's the other half of it. You can't just do anything and everything, because that would be being attached to not doing your duty. You can't accept half of the hen. It's called ardha kukuti nyaya in Sanskrit, the logic of half a hen. So this farmer, he has this chicken, a hen, and it lays eggs, and he takes the eggs and sells them in the market. And he's like, this is so good. I'm getting money from this hen. But then he has to buy food to feed it. And he thinks, this sucks. It's costing me money. He's like, you know what? The back half of the hen gives the eggs, and I make money out of that. The front half of the hen eats the grain, and it costs me money.
No,
I should cut it in half.
Oh my.
And I'll just keep the back half, the one that makes the money. That's called the logic of half a hen. It just doesn't work like that. The two things are intrinsically and inextricably connected. So those are the two things there.
Here is like, and never be attached to not doing your duty.
Yeah.
What does it mean to not doing your duty?
Prahlad, over to you.
It
Never
says,
be attached to
never
not
be
doing-
attached to not doing your duty.
Yeah.
It's not being attached to not doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Isn't it like contradictory? We shouldn't be attached, of course, but we should be doing our duty.
But not being attached is in the rest of it. It says any attachment, positive or negative, is a cause of bondage. So being attached to doing your duty and being attached to not doing your duty.
It's
It's
fun.
action in action and inaction in action.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the
Nice.
that's one of the criticisms that people level against the devotees who are chanting at the parliament occupation. Oh, well, they're attached to it because, political-
Anti-vaxxers, political
Yeah.
things like, since when you are myself?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking for myself.
There's a couple of problems with that. One of them is this idea that they have some kind of mystical insight into the consciousness of the devotees doing it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then at the same time, they're attached to not doing their duty. Oh, we don't want to chant there. Why not? Because we've got a bad reputation and consequentialist. You can see the philosophical. They're reasoning from the consequences because they're attached to a particular outcome. And then they try to masquerade that as being mature and responsible, but they're just philosophically deviant. I don't care whether you think it's a good idea or not, you go and chant. Or at the very least, you don't come up with philosophical deviations about it. So you stayed home and didn't chant because you were afraid of the consequences or the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but don't philosophically deviate on that basis.
Yeah. Yeah. Isabella,
Indeed.
You're up.
you're up.
I agree with what you guys said.
Okay,
Do you
and what
have
else
any
do you have to
points that
say?
you want to make?
Not really, no.
Come on, make a point.
I don't know.
Hmm.
So the purport has been edited extensively.
Gotta say that Brahma was smart though
Mm-hmm.
in the story.
Yeah. And you know what? You know what? There are many people that can get away with that. I would say these days, I think many criminals can get away with that. It wasn't me, it was my mental health. I'm innocent.
So
Oh, talking about that, then there's a detachment from the me and the mental health that you have.
can you say more about that?
Or if you say it wasn't me, it was my mental health. So that implies that there is a me who is unattached from your mental health. But what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's me.
Exactly. It's like, oh, well, that's not his true self. Well,
Someone else is guiding that body that is making the person commit such a hideous act.
jaywalking.
What's a jaywalking?
Crossing the road was not meant.
Crossing the road we're not supposed to cross.
Is that called jay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jaywalking, it's called.
Well, I'm learning a few things from these teenagers. So what's jaywalking? Okay.
3 considerations, 3 subdivisions of work: routine, emergency, desired activities. You wonder where these come from, right? Because they'll come from someone else's commentary on Bhagavad-gita.
Root emergency work. What is supposed to mean by emergency work? Oh, it would be nice to have more about this.
Stuff that you have to do that like just comes up. So when it says routine work, so that's your daily stuff, and then you might be like, "Yep, I'm a farmer. I gotta feed my cows." And then emergency work, one of the cows has gotten stuck in the mud.
Or the kingdom's being invaded, so you have
Yeah.
to take up arms.
Mm.
And then desired activities is like, what do I want to do besides feed my cows? Maybe I want to go for a long drive or go to the beach.
Well, here it says routine work in terms of scriptural injunctions being done without desirable results.
Yeah.
So it's obligatory work.
Mm. Yeah, it's an action in the mode of goodness. And reading, having your shower every morning, and making sure your household tidy, and you do your japa.
I would say, and I'm speculating here, right?
Okay.
This is what I'm saying about the section here. To me, what this looks like is it is.
Turn the camera off.
So yeah, I'm speculating here, and it will benefit from some further research. But it looks to me as though Prabhupada is referring to someone else's purport on this verse, which contains these concepts, but he hasn't pulled in all of it.
Elaborated it.
Yeah. So this here
I think I can remember this about routine work, emergency work.
Mhm.
Like you were saying, if there is a need to be done, you have to do it. You may be a brahmana, you may be a satriya, even brahmanas, if there is emergency, the situation comes, as a brahmana, you also have to fight.
Mhm.
Yeah. There is somewhere that I heard that. I cannot go back to the scriptures.
Thought we said we were going to keep this in 30 minutes.
Yeah, we're up to 35. So now you have to take us out. Hare Krishna Rawadi
Haribol.
and his birthday wishes from your grandma.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
Thank you so much.
yay, he is 15. I'm joking.
All right, that's me.
Oh, you. Oh,
Wrong one.
crossed.
Okay, write us
Anyways.
out, Isha.
Slang. How do I do that?
Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the source.
Cameron says, Baladev. Shall pull up. Baladev Vidya Bhushan's commentary versus.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. I had both of those commentaries actually.
Mm.
I wish I still had them to refer back and have a look to see about this verse.
Oh,
You
another
should start a series, epic book battles of history.
Happy birthday, Prahlad.
Rupa said happy
Rupa.
birthday.
Thank you, Rupa.
Epic book batteries. You know what we could do is we should get those commentaries and we could go compare them to Prabhupada's commentary, examine them.
Yeah.
Could make this more intense. It's like edition 1 versus edition 2.
Mm.
And then this is incredible. See this book here, this 72 Mac Bhagavad-gita, the original, the book that conquered the West. Look at this. It's a hardbound book with a dust jacket on it. 3 sets of color plates. It's got 48 color plates in it. And you can get this thing for $25.
Shout out to my boy
Crazy.
up in Whangarei.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Bodhimanta Prabhu, Hare Krishna, and Vanessa. Hari
Thank you for
Yeah.
distributing these books. Yeah.
The very good book protection.
Yeah,
Keeping the
yeah.
book safe from the New Zealand Post.
Mhm.
Mm. And then for distributing these books.
Okay, here you go. Can you please read this on the back, Isha?
All
to
of it?
finish us. Yeah, this one here.
No, agarra.
This one here at the end.
Hello.
A masterpiece of scriptural literature completely new in its authenticity. Bhagavad-gita is addressed to all humanity, for it contains the essence of bhakti
Too
yoga.
fast, slow down so that people can get it. I'm not even getting it. Are you getting it?
Okay, it's low.
Indeed, I am getting
Okay.
it.
Well, you got a general. Well, what did you just say without looking at it?
It is something that is really good for humanity, and it summarizes and has the essence of Krishna consciousness, otherwise known as bhakti yoga.
That's not what I said.
Oh.
Okay. So,
So it means he got it, even though I was talking
no,
about
he's looking at it.
Oh.
Okay, do it again.
A masterpiece of scriptural literature completely new in its authenticity. Bhagavad-gita is addressed to all humanity, for it contains the essence of bhakti yoga, or Krishna consciousness, the ancient science designed to enable men to attain the perfection of life. This edition of work presents this knowledge as it was originally handed down from Lord Sri Krishna to Arjuna without being adulterated by philosophical interpretation. It is fully indexed and cross-referenced and is illustrated with 44 magnificent full-color paintings. Original works painted especially for this volume to depict the events in the Gita and exemplify the teachings of Krishna, containing the original Sanskrit text, Roman transliterations, English synonyms, translation and commentary. Bhagavad-gita, as it is the most complete and authoritative transmission of this timeless scripture in print, and the only one that does not obscure the true spirit of Krishna's teachings.
Booyah. Jai Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Jai Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Woo!
Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam
Total world victory.
of Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai.
Aibo!
Thanks for tuning
Happy
in.
birthday, Prahlad! Woo!
Happy birthday, Jai Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
21.
You stupid. It's not this day.
Okay, how about to finish then, Prahlad, your reflections on 21 years as a devotee in this life?
Yes.
Um,
And Speak to the generations of your age.
Not particularly much of a reflection because I haven't really experienced anything else. There might be a lot of people who have experienced life not in the Krishna conscious community
Well,
and then
hello.
joined. And they'll be able to understand the contrast between not Krishna conscious and then Krishna consciousness. For me, that I can't really do that. But going through life, it's sort of just normal. I don't know what else to say. Just really is just normal everyday life for me.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel anything special, materially, but spiritually, it does feel that there's like a better connection. I could definitely see the better connections, with just life, other people, and just my experiences. It's very heartfelt and nice. While I see online, other people not having the best time. So like this video of this lady who was like super drunk, just slipping around everywhere. People were like filming it and laughing. I was like, man, that looks like it sucks. But yeah, I'm really, really grateful being born into it and 21 years of it. Growing up, always being at the temple, playing with the other guys, playing tag and stuff. Drinking out of hoses, super thirsty from running around, eating custard and stuff. That sort of experience is second to none. Yeah, and then growing up, learning how to play kirtan, getting I won't say versed in the philosophy, but being introduced into it. I wasn't really reading the books growing up. I was like, man, book reading is for nerds, it's not for me. But I would get sort of secondhand information, being in some classes, just hearing stuff here and there. And so, growing up doing that, and then now reading the books, getting versed in the knowledge. It's real good. Getting the missing information, or filling in the blanks. So now I'm able to mature into that. And so yeah, that's sort of been my experience.
And as a devotee born into a devotee family, and what you watch on the internet, do you feel protected? Do you feel secure compared to what other people outside the devotee life could be feeling right now?
I wouldn't say I feel protected or secure. It's just that it's not a high level of importance onto the stuff that's happening. So like it's just whatever happens, it's the material world. It's obviously gonna be not fun. Stuff's gonna happen. It's not always gonna be good, but it is not. It doesn't matter that much. It's not a high level of importance on it. The spiritual advancement is what it's there, and there's always the spiritual life. The material life is temporary, so any suffering, and stuff like that is just temporary. It's not going to be forever. So, whether I'm protected or not, which I do have that sort of feeling is, I guess I am a Vaishnava of the Krishna conscious movement, so I am protected. But if not, some I'm spiritually there we go. Materially, anything could happen. I could be run over by a bike tomorrow and like break my toe or something. And so, yeah. Oh, okay. the answer is no. I do not feel protected from being run over by a bike, but I do feel protected from going to like the ninth circle of hell, days of Bruno, which is what really matters.
Good. And what advice can you give it to the young people of your age? Being 21, adult.
21. Stick around. That would be my advice. I know most people go through the choice of either in the sort of transitioning stage from being a young person into an adult, they go to the decision to either leave and go do their own thing, do whatever in the world, or stick around and continue their spiritual journey. Yeah, I wouldn't say specifically you gotta do all the reading, do all the chanting as a like a kid, like doing all that sort of stuff, because that will come more as like, I don't want to do this, I want to play Fortnite or something. It's like, oh, I want to be a CEO and make lots of money and stuff, or whatever they want to do. They might choose to do that, but as you grow older, there's the decision to either stay and continue or go do your own thing. I would recommend staying. Is then when you mature and you'll be able to think a little bit better. But this makes more sense. Now I don't want to become a circus and Cirque du Soleil or something, whatever. So yeah.
Well, I guess the people can still get and materially be well off.
Yeah.
Without leaving their spiritual practice, right? And I guess that will give like a solace to people, the young people, in their transition to, adulthood or old age, having the support of spiritual life support. That's how I see it. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's there's always the higher level of temptation and mingling with people outside of the community, which will always be like a sort of pull outside of it. And it does require a lot of self-constraint or determination to be able to continue with Krishna consciousness and do that, which is possible. There are a lot of very successful devotees in business, and then the very important part is to always have the end goal is always Krishna consciousness. So it's like, well, not the end goal, but there's always the Krishna consciousness aspects. You might be a very successful businessman and you use that to do like programs. Like there's a Prabhu in what's the place?
Australia?
No.
America?
The other NP country city. Palmerston North. Sunny Boss. Shout out to Sunny Boss. I really like his mother's cooking. He has a business and then he uses that money. He's got like a amazing center that he does a lot of programs and stuff, and he gives back to the community. So he's a successful businessman, and then he has the Krishna conscious aspect there. So
two things.
Yeah, there's always the Krishna conscious aspect incorporated. Yeah.
Yeah. So the two things at once, you enjoy both of them, right?
Yeah.
The material life and the success of your material work, and your spiritual life, and what do you get from the material world or your finances, money, you use it in service to Krishna, which is wonderful, you see.
One of them is temporary and the other one is eternal.
Eternal, yeah. Anyway,
Amazing.
anything to say, baby? Isha? Cool.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one before.
What did you hear before? Sad birthday.
Sad birthday. It's your 21st birthday, and congratulations on making it through 21 years and as a devotee.
Mm.
And yeah, I'm very proud of you. Yeah, I acknowledge the ground that you've taken, and you've been through a lot over the last few years, over your whole life, actually. Being born in Peru in the temple, moving to Australia, not that you can really remember it, then growing up in the ashram, with like 15 people living there, and then getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, going through your mother's cancer, then the Great Reset and us moving back to New Zealand, leaving your last year in school and all your friends and associates in Australia, coming to New Zealand, then Param passing away, and then finding your place in the world, and then now with a new family creating, yeah, I'm really proud of you. You've like been through a lot, and come through it with the challenges that you faced, going to the Profest, distributing books there, living at Nurturing Soul for a year, finding some independence there, discovering yourself in the world.
I was really a challenge. That was a nice little retreat.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, there's things like, learning to drive, and then driving this job, driving yourself back in 6 days a week, 11 hours a day, picking apples.
I was more like 9.5, but still.
Yeah. And then with the driving, right?
Yeah.
How many hours of work was it there?
What? Like a week?
No, a day.
Oh, it was 6 to 4:30.
So that's what? How many
Almost
hours?
10 hours?
But yeah, break.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
nine and a half.
and then the driving. How much was the driving?
About 30 to 40 minutes each way.
Oh,
Yeah. There you go. That's a long day. Yeah,
so
yeah.
much driving. Yeah.
Yeah, you come through it like with confidence, aplomb, courage.
Mm.
Yeah, taking a lot of courage and a lot of it's really character forming, strength, grace, and then developing a lot of insight from it, and the practical execution and living of the philosophy. As you go into the future, you'll have a lot to offer to people from your experience, because you've been through a lot, had to deal with it, and deal with it from the context of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, I'm incredibly proud of you, and you're a great young man, and just going further into discovering your place in the world, and how that works, studying, working, all those things.
It's a young adult. Oh, it's scary
Yeah.
to think about.
Yeah, I remember when you were born, and then you were so small that you could fit in my hand. I used to lift you up like this, like doing bicep curls. You used to like it, lying up and down like this, because the back of your neck, your head fit onto my finger, and then the base of your spine was at the base of the palm of my hand.
Jesus, you're so tiny.
Bro was
Yeah, so tiny.
minuscule.
Yeah.
What about the jacket meeting
What's that?
incident? You in a meeting. You remember that?
No.
Or you used to tell me.
I used to put you inside my jacket and carry him around so he'd be inside my jacket. He was so small
tiny.
that no one could see him. So he would be just in here inside my jacket, and And then I'd open up, he'd stick his head out.
Like a little
He was a
kitten.
baby. Yeah. He was,
was-
well, like, you know, like weeks old.
Yeah, you used to say that you were in a meeting and then I started crying. Everyone's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, and then you used to in the temple, because we lived in the temple, I'd take you to Gora Arti, and then you'd go to sleep in the Gora Arti, and there'd be like 3 mridangas, wampus, kirtan going on, and he'd just go to sleep. And then everyone in the temple would go to bed in the ashrams, and then he'd start screaming.
Oh, I hate that.
I know. Then I had to take you outside and walk around, and I would walk around on the streets, and then he'd be like this,
So alert.
looking at everything. Yeah.
Oh my. Did you know, like, when people become older, they sleep during the day and they're awake during the night?
Mhm.
Something about the brain switches.
Mm.
It is like, you're so busy during the day. I mean, so sleepy, and at night you're just like all, babies and adults somehow.
Mhm.
Don't know
Ain't gonna
about the
lie,
brain.
kirtans make me tired. I just want to like hardcore kirtan. I just want to be sleeping on the floor.
Even now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people will be rocking out. Just be like,
Really?
yeah. We used to do tours with Dave Stringer.
Oh, yeah.
Every single Dave Stringer concert, I was gone.
I know, yeah, they were like, dude, that's really weird, because you'd just be sleeping in the corner during the kirtan, like it'd be like rocking out. Like, dude, you're like being conditioned to it from a baby, sleeping in the kirtan.
And then once it ended, I would just wake up. Like, man, no more kirtan. Gotta go.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well done for the first 21 years.
24.
21.
Hey, 21.
I didn't join the devotees till I was 23. Yeah.
Lucky someone in this world. From baby.
Mhm.
Yes, you.
We were just talking to Divyanga. You would have loved it, Isha. He became a devotee because he was oh, Harriet said happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we Dana and I interviewed Divyanga Das this morning.
Mhm.
He's a Prabhupada disciple. So he said that they were going to some concert somewhere. He was 17, and he told about how at the concerts it was like profess, you know, devotees giving out books and prasadam, and they were on their way to the concert, and he knew that the devotees always go to concerts and do that. So they're walking there, and there's a service station, and there's a van load of devotees pull up in the service station. He's like, hey man, for sure these guys are going to the concert.
Mhm.
So he's with his friend, you know, and he goes, hey, they're going to the concert. Let's get a ride with them. His friend's like, dude, I ain't getting in a van with those breaks, you know. He's like, well, see ya. And he goes over. He's like, hey, you guys go to the concert? And they're like, yeah, get in. So they get in and he gets in the van with them.
Mm.
And then immediately the guy gives him a stack of books, you know. He already had like a couple of books, you know. They gave him like Nectar of Devotion, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, you know. And it's like, I'll give a donation. So he had $90 in his pocket, so he gave like a couple of 20s.
Mm.
And then the guy found some more books, Sri Upanishad, another one. He was like, oh, you know, I'll just give him everything, gave him all the money, 90, right? So then they arrive there and they get him to help him carry some stuff. And then they say to him, oh, yeah, now we're going to, they carry some stuff, and then they do a Harinam.
Mm.
So he joins them for the Harinam. Then they go, oh, yeah, here's what we do now. We're going to take off, they get changed into kami clothes, and they're like, now what we do is we go and we give incense and books to people when we get donations, because we have to spread love of God to all the people who are suffering. Do you want to come with us?
Mm.
And he said he was thinking like, oh, you know, I really want to go and watch the concert. But he was like, oh, I don't really want to say no, because then they think I'm insincere, you know? So he says, okay. So then they give him like the incense and the books in a book bag, and then he goes out and starts distributing books, right? And he's like saying to people like, oh, you know, we're giving these books out because we're distributing love of God to people, you know, give a donation. So people are giving him donations. Then he goes back, and then they're like, oh, we're going to go back to the temple. Do you want to come? And he's kind of like, I actually want to go home. But he's like, oh, you know, I guess I'll go with them, you know. So then he goes back with them to the temple, right? So they go to the temple, and he said there were like 30 brahmacharis there. And then they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we're going to sleep now. We're going to get up early in the morning, you know. And so he lays down on the ground, and he's just thinking early in the morning, okay, what does that mean, you know? And then he like closes his eye and goes to sleep. And then like a couple of minutes later, someone comes in banging the car, tells at 4 a.m, you know, like, hey, it's time to get up. He's like, what? And he said that he had a dream about Krishna that night. Krishna came in the dream, was blowing the conch shell.
Victory.
And so he got up and he goes to Mangaladi, and he didn't have his glasses because he was doing this thing where he was like, oh, I don't need glasses, you know. So they open the curtains and everything, but he can't see the deities until he gets to Lord Jagannath. So he was at a temple that had 3 altars, you know, Gauratai, Radha Krishna, Yugala Kishore, I think Radha Yugala Kishore. And then Jagannath Baladev, and he can see Jagannath because he's got the massive eyes and everything. And then then they go, oh, we're going to go out on Sankirtan again today. Do you want to come or do you want to go home? And he was like, oh, he kind of like, I want to go home. But he's like, I don't really want to seem like I'm insincere, you know. So then he goes out on Sankirtan again. And then he keeps going out every day. And then one day he gets into the van and he falls asleep. And then when he wakes up, they're in another city because it's a traveling Sankirtan party. And they've gone back to their home temple in Detroit. And so they go into the temple in Detroit. And there's this massive Sunday feast kirtan and a massive Sunday feast, you know. And then he's like, oh, dude, I want to shave up, man. And they're like, Jai! And they shave him up, you know. He's like basically joined the temple at 17. And it's 50 years later, he's 67, and all he's ever done in his life is distribute Prabhupada's books.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Because he got in the van on the way to the concert.
That's a real how I accidentally became a skinhead moment.
Yeah, that was far out, man. I recommend watching the whole episode. It is epic.
It's nectar.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Die Distributing Prabhupada's Books. It's called episode 16 on Voices podcast.
So inspiring. Very inspiring how he is still does it. And he has a wish, you know. He wished to die when he's given Srila Prabhupada's book.
Prabhupada's books, yeah.
Yeah.
This has been so nectar is because it's Radha Kishore's 50th anniversary installation. And so
I know what that
We
means.
said we're going no more than an hour.
yeah. You do know what that means, you say?
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
50th anniversary of the installation of the deities
Where?
in Chicago. Yeah, so they said to the devotees, like, you know, we'll pay for anyone who served Sri Kishore Kishore, we'll pay for their ticket to come for the festival. But then some people couldn't come. And so they come onto the podcast to share about it. And then some people weren't invited, like Capricious Swami. So he came on the podcast. It's been the mercy of Sri Kishore Kishore.
Definitely.
Nectar.
It wasn't only for one group celebrating, it was for him sharing to the whole world.
Yeah.
And for the future generation that will see this podcast. Future devotees. So it's a mercy of Sri Kishore Kishore. It's one name.
Yeah, Gora's sending us photos. Okay, it is 1 hour and 3 minutes in. Okay, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam.
Total victory.
Oh, victory.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Hey, guys, get excited for someone else's birthday.
Woo!
Which is on Janmashtami.
Bhagavad-gita.
My birthday's on Janmashtami, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for
That'll
that.
be the triple trifecta.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm planning on throwing a mad party that day.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Oh.